Cheers, Isabel. Well, it's time again to look through the papers with broadcaster Sean McDonald and writer Emma Wolfe. Welcome back, both. We're going to kick off with the front page of The Times, Sean. Blood tests to help spot Alzheimer's years earlier. This is fantastic news.
Yeah, this is incredible. So there are thousands of Britons who are worried about their memory could have access to blood tests for dementia, and it's landmark trials to basically to try to find these proteins which are linked to Alzheimer's and dementia. I think the significance of this is that dementia is the highest killer in the UK. It accounts for more than 1 in 10 deaths, but it's something that's not often spoken about. I think partially maybe due to the fact that maybe estimated 33% of people are actually undiagnosed. It's an absolutely horrifying disease. It's something that needs sort of no further explanation in that sense. I think this could be groundbreaking. There are revolutionary new drugs, but they require early diagnosis. So diagnosis isn't coming early enough in order for these drugs to be effective and to actually work, and it's something that I think could change the lives of a lot of people.
The challenge of this, we often hear about these new, innovative, exciting treatments, and then you realise the practicalities of affording to roll it out, and then actually the process of doing it is quite complex. And it lends to our other story, Emma, the front page of The Telegraph. The NHS waiting lists could be 2 million missing from them, the list we already have. What's going on here?
It's a very odd way, and the way that the data is collected and reported from the NHS is also quite complicated. This is a new study from the ONS, the Office for National Statistics. They surveyed 100,000 people, and they found that 21% of them were waiting for either an NHS appointment, for a test or medical treatment. So that's around 9.7 million people waiting for an NHS appointment. Previously, it was reported that 6.3 million were waiting for 7.6 million appointments. So some people are waiting for more than one appointment.
Yeah.
What I find staggering in this, I mean, I think we know this, a lot of people are waiting far too long for appointments. 1 in 7 is waiting more than a year. But what I find really staggering is the NHS waiting list, the way they're collated. If you've already had a first appointment, you're then not on these waiting lists. So if you're waiting for a follow-up, if you're waiting for actual treatment, you're deemed that you've already started treatment. And I think that's really, really dishonest, actually, because say you have a first consultation, then you could be waiting 3 months, 6 months, up to a year for treatment, but you're not on those, you're not included in that stat. So we kind of assume, oh, great, people are in treatment, they're being treated. Yeah. But you're still waiting. What if it's a hip replacement? You've been seen, and I think that's why you get a quick appointment early, and then you still find yourself waiting. So
we've had so many people on this show talk about the absolute agony that they've been in, or the anxiety of having a heart condition and waiting for a heart bypass or
a back pain,
transplant,
a hip, anything that you need treatment for. You could be sent an appointment that is, months away. And I just don't think that is what we think. When we think of a waiting list, we think of people waiting to be seen and then to receive treatment.
I mean, is this something that we're going to see any improvement in under a new government?
Well, yeah, quite. I mean, it's not playing out very well for Rishi Sunak at present, is it? Because one of his key pledges, of course, was to reduce those waiting times. He's just added 2 million to it.
Yeah, I think, it sort of points to as well the lack of investment in the NHS. Each year it has gone up. That's part of a ring-fence commitment by the Tories since about 2010. But the long-term historical average, it's way down. So we can attribute it specifically to that, I would say.
Let's look at how people are voting. Younger people, different trends that have been picked up. Sean, the Times are talking about this. This young woman saying, I wouldn't date a Tory. What we're learning is that, across lots of parts of the world, actually, not just in Europe, young women are becoming more left-leaning and young men are going more towards the right. What do you think is going on?
Yeah, there's been a lot of analysis and a lot of opinions that are being given. There's this theory that young men feel that they're being sort of chastised and told, the world is built for you to succeed, whereas they feel that they're a wee bit marginalised and lacking in opportunities. There is obviously this chasm which is starting to form between these sort of demographic groups. I find it quite funny, to be honest. It's not really that big a deal. We've got here Blanca Schofield, who's saying that she has kissed Tories in the past. She said we all have a past and she's not proud of it. But she said that she would swipe left, so that means to get rid of somebody. This isn't me pretending that I
don't know dating apps.
But yes, so I do understand, though, if you're so completely diametrically opposed to somebody in so many socio-cultural, socio-political issues, then for the expectation that you should then want to get with people, who are from the opposite part of that divide. I don't think it's that big a deal.
There is actually a bit more of a serious component to this, Emma, because it is women saying, actually, I want to pursue my career and maybe I'll delay having children, and men going, well, hang on, those women don't seem to be interested in me. What we actually see, the broader picture, is a declining birth rate.
Yeah. I mean, I think the young tend to be more left-leaning, and as people grow up and have to start paying taxes and deal with the real world, they tend to move to the centre and maybe a little bit centre-right. I don't think in my days of, going out to bars and kissing Tories or Labour or whoever, I don't think I ever checked. Maybe I wasn't politically engaged then. I never checked whether people were left or right. It wasn't one of my first
questions. Can I get a drink and how do you vote?
And also, even on dating apps, and I really haven't done those for a while, but I don't remember checking people's political affiliations.
Some people would say, but no
now
Tories
that's probably
or no
a thing.
lefties.
I'm sure that is a thing.
Is it possibly a positive story? Because it means that either way, people are getting more involved in politics, they're more aware of political leanings, and it's far more relevant to your star sign.
But I worry that it's becoming very polarised, that either you're left or you're right, that we can't have nuanced debates, that we can't agree that on some things we disagree, or that some things we might all be quite central, or that we might even be, I'm left-wing on some things and I'm quite right-wing on others.
I suppose it depends, like, what you're discussing, like, whether it's, when are the bins going to be picked up, or what should we do with people trying to cross the channel on a boat. They're kind of serious issues, and obviously they're going to have then sort of serious and more extreme outcomes.
I've met a few couples actually who are quite politically opposed. One would absolutely identify as a lefty, is a woman, and the man would definitely be right wing. And I think it makes for a lot more interesting conversation, but they do go their separate ways when it comes to the booths.
Yeah, I've got friends who can't watch Newsnight together because that would not be good for their marriage, shall we say. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Sean and Emma, for joining us this morning. They will be back with more papers in just under an hour.